This is part 3 of the Unit 3 lab. So where we ended, we had just looked up vanadium, letter V, and saw that it was purple, so that's a transition metal. And we put that it was a transition metal here. We're going to get rid of these other elements because they are not metals. So let's look through the rest of these. I have Mn for manganese, S for sulfur, and O for oxygen. Is oxygen a metal? No, I hope not. So I have Mn and S left over. So Mn is right here. What group does Mn belong to? The transition metals. So we'll get rid of the S and we have another transition metal. All right, let's look at FeNO3, 2. All right, we know oxygen is not a metal. Let's look where nitrogen is. Nitrogen is over here, and it is pink. So pink are the nonmetals. So it's not nitrogen. Oh, and look at these. All these have nitrogen and oxygen too. So that tells us that those are our metals. Now we need to see what kind of metal. So Fe is right here. What kind of metal is it? It's in purple, so it too is a transition metal. And Co is cobalt. Cobalt is right here. What kind of metal is it? It too is a transition metal. Now let's look at copper. Copper is abbreviated Cu. And there we go. Here's copper. So copper is a what? Copper too is a transition metal. And lastly, we have zinc. Zinc is Zn. And zinc is right here. So what group does zinc belong to? It too is a transition metal. Looks to me like we got a pattern. So let's jump down here and look at this. Make a general statement about the reactivity of the metals in this experiment. Hint, use questions 5 and 6 to help. So what would we say is the general reactivity of our transition metals? Well, they all reacted, so we would say something like transition metals are very reactive. All right, so now it says question 6. Okay, so we have to do question 6. It says write any metals that did not react. Also write the type of metal based on your examination of the periodic table. All right, so these all reacted. These two reacted. So these two did not. So now we're going to look at the ones that did not react. So we have two different compounds, our first compound and our second compound. And again, we only want to know the metal. Okay, is oxygen a metal? Nope. Is nitrogen a metal? Nope. So potassium is our metal. And let's look and see what type of metal potassium is. So potassium is way over here in the yellow. So, oh, I know it's hard to see in there, but they are, oh, there it is. Alkali metals. Alkali metals are in yellow. All right, so potassium is an alkali metal. And let's look up calcium. Calcium's right here. So what is calcium? Calcium is an alkaline earth metal. So calcium is an alkaline earth metal. So we said that the transition metals were very reactive. What would we say about these? Well, they didn't react, so we would say that they are non-reactive. So the alkali and alkaline earth metals did not react at all. Okay. Last question says, you may expect certain metals to react based on where they are in the periodic table. However, they did not react in this lab because they were previously combined, and it is very difficult to get these metals to separate and recombine. Which type of metal or metals is this referring to? Okay, so in this lab, alkaline and alkaline earth metals did not react at all. So, alkali and alkaline earth metals themselves are very reactive, but these didn't react at all because they were already combined with other chemicals like, well, let's look and see what they were with. They were already with nitrate, NO3. So normally these would be extremely reactive. Like these are the metals that start on fire when you put them in water. But in this case, they didn't react because they were already combined. So once they're combined, they're not going to react again. They're like, nope, I'm happy, go away, leave me alone. So that part sometimes trips people up a little bit, so I wanted to make sure and talk about that part as well. All right, so that is the end of our lab for this one. Great job, everybody. Make sure you K-mail Mrs. KJ so that I know that you have this done and I can put your grade in the grade book. If you have questions, please let me know. Bye.